Hey you! Yes you! The person with trillions of bacteria in your gut watching this video right now. Did you know the daily life decisions you make every day could be correlated to the wants of your gut microbiota? In fact, if you've had any cravings for a certain food recently, it's probably your gut bacteria's fault. Now you may be thinking, how does something like my gut bacteria influence my brain? Well, don't worry about it. I'll explain how this happens and what we can do about it. My science question is, what is the gut microbiome, and to what extent does it influence the activity of the brain? Also, here's a quick lesson outline that brings up some questions I'll be addressing throughout my video. Now, you've heard a lot about how strong the influence of gut bacteria is, but there's a lot of information you're missing to grasp the full picture. Firstly, I'm going to go over what gut bacteria is and what place it has in our body. I will also talk about what the gut microbiome is made of, how it influences the brain, and finally I'll explain why it's important to keep a balance and control these seemingly harmless microorganisms. What is gut bacteria and how does it fit into our body? Gut bacteria, gut flora, gut microbiota, gastrointestinal microbiota, gut microbes, whatever you want to call it, is the complex community of microorganisms that exist within our digestive tracts. This includes digestive tracts of humans, animals, and even creatures like insects. Now let me explain why we need gut bacteria. The gut bacteria are extremely important to us because of their ability to process fibers, acids, and vitamins that are essential to our growth. For example, intestinal bacteria play a major role in synthesizing vitamin B and vitamin K, as well as the metabolizing of xenobiotics and bile acids. However, how does such a complex community of microbes get inside our gut in the first place? Although humans are sterile in the womb, when we pass through the birth canal, billions of your mother's bacteria cover every single part of us. This may seem a little disgusting or a little disturbing, but it is a crucial part of human health. This is also why babies born of C-section are at much higher risk of illnesses like asthma, sinusitis, eczema, immune diseases, and even leukemia. The gut microbiome is only fully developed at around the age of 2. On top of that, the combinations of gut microbes are endless as the types of bacteria number in the thousands. It is much more unique than even fingerprints. The combinations of gut bacteria can be made up of these 3 general types of gut bacteria: harmless microbes, harmful microbes, and helpful microbes. Here are some examples of the 3 types in the form of original artwork made by me, specifically of Bacillus, Salmonella, and Viridians streptococci. The harmless microbes don't harm us, but instead merely take up space and help get rid of harmful microbes, which is slightly beneficial for us. These harmful microbes are a pain to deal with, but we've mostly learned to live with them. For example, Streptococcus mutans literally create acid to melt our teeth. Luckily, we have inventions like toothpaste that help get rid of these harmful bacteria. However, we can never fully get rid of them, which is why we need to brush teeth every day. Finally, we have friendly microbes that our bodies loves to have. These friendly gut microorganisms help digest food and take additional calories which we cannot digest ourselves. However, the gut isn't just home to these microbes we've lived with since childhood. It is also the perfect point of attack for unfriendly intruders like viruses, which is why our gut is heavily guarded with our immune system. An interesting question to consider is, how does the immune system know not to attack the friendly microbes? Well, the microbiome has evolved to be able to communicate with our body. There are 3 ways the gut microbes communicate with the brain, which are microbes sending serotonin through the vagus nerve, microbes alerting the immune system, which sends cytokines to the brain, and producing metabolites, which alter the activity of the blood-brain barrier. Now this is when we move into the new field of science, which is being thoroughly explored as we speak. The effect of the gut microbiome on our brain and how the gut microbiome might be able to directly speak to our brain. A recent study shows that 90% of our body's serotonin is produced in the gut. The gut bacteria use the serotonin to contact the brain like I mentioned earlier. But the gut bacteria can alert the brain and tell the brain to repair itself if something has sustained an injury. Another study to further support this idea of gut bacteria communicating with the brain is where scientists put microbes of depressed people into the body of rats, and the rats began to show signs of depression and anxiety-like behavior. Scientists have also found that certain setups of gut microbes can even affect your motor and language skills from birth. The effect of gut microbes on your brain doesn't stop at mental health. It affects your diet even more. There are thousands of different species of gut microbes inside your body, and all of them have different nutrient interests. Some prefer healthy vegetables and greens, while others prefer fatty, greasy junk food. Many studies indicate that the gut bacteria can influence what you want to eat and what kinds of food you crave. However, we are not powerless to the influence of gut microbes. In fact, the system works the other way around as well. If we continuously eat healthy leafy greens, then the microbes that love to eat vegetables will begin to thrive and populate the gut. These bacteria will send message to the brain asking for more, which makes you crave more vegetables. This is a system that we can control with internal or external strength. Our gut microbiome is like a garden where we pick and choose what type of microbes we want to thrive, but we also cannot look down on the gut microbiome as something we can easily neglect. Using the idea I mentioned earlier about entering a cycle of healthy eating sounds like a good and easy idea, but is also applicable to junk food. If you're going through a tough time where you have excessive consumption of burgers and fries, you help the grease and oil-loving bacteria thrive. This isn't a big deal until the population of that bacteria skyrockets and pushes out healthy food-loving bacteria of your gut. Then these grease-loving bacteria keep sending messages to your brain to eat more fast food, which makes you crave it. This is a terrible, vicious cycle to be stuck in, which is why having an unbalanced gut microbiome can lead to diseases like obesity. Beyond weight gain, our gut microbiome has also been linked to diseases like autism, schizophrenia, and even cancer. All this stresses how important it is to keep the balance with these useful yet potentially dangerous allies. Other than maintaining a healthy diet, we have probiotics, which can be very useful as it helps maintain healthy intestinal gut flora. To conclude, what have we learned about our gut as well as our body? Well, gut bacteria are an extremely crucial part of human health, as a lack of bacteria or a lack of healthy bacteria increases the risk of serious diseases. On top of that, gut bacteria are extremely useful allies as they help us digest and process foods. The gut microbiome is also very complex as it is made up of thousands of different types of gut microbes. This is important because the gut microbiome is constantly changing and we can control how it changes. It is critical that we maintain our gut health because our gut health has a very strong relation to our mental and physical wellness. An unhealthy gut can lead to serious brain problems like depression and diseases like cancer or obesity, which is why we should maintain a healthy gut microbiome by eating healthy foods and taking probiotics, which help our gut flora digest and stay healthy. We still have a lot to learn about our gut microbiome as well as the growing scientific industry of gut science, but either way, we need the microbiome and the microbiome needs us. The microbiome can be our strongest allies if we maintain the peace. Thank you for listening, and here are the sources I used in this video.